Well, you've mentioned the website a couple times, but for clarity, if people, because it's an ever-changing scenario, updates, etc., what's the best approach? What's the best website for people to reach out?
That's recovery.lacounty.gov.
Okay.
And I like to say, because a lot of folks right now have insurance questions, they have a really good insurance page on there that's gonna walk you through that much better than I did.
This has been literally fascinating, incredibly informative, and I so appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Colonel Saucer, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap on this LA Currents.
Hello everyone, I'm Susan Huckle, and here's what's happening in LA this week. It's an LA icon that continually inspires, and it's turning 90. Griffith Observatory is celebrating. Owned and operated by the City of Los Angeles, the observatory has starred in many movies, thousands of tourist videos, and now it has its own starring role.
Today is Griffith Observatory's 90th anniversary. On this day, 90 years ago, Griffith Observatory opened to the public with its official ceremonies. And of course, we've been operating as a public observatory, the most visited public observatory on the planet over the last 9 decades. This morning, we start with the opening ceremony where we have some distinguished folks talking about the observatory and talking about its mission, and obviously just kicking the whole thing off. But you can't have an opening ceremony and a celebration without birthday cake and cupcakes.
Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha.
I didn't realize before today that I've taken for granted something a lot of people don't have access to, which is a public observatory. This is rare and precious, and we're very, very fortunate in Los Angeles to have an observatory where we can go, explore the stars, learn about our place in the universe, all for free.
So the Griffith Observatory is part of the Department of Recreation and Parks. We staff this facility. This is one of our largest and highest visited location. We have travelers from all over the world that come to the Griffith Observatory, not only to gather, but also to learn. We have the amazing Dr. Krupp that has been such a great opportunity for us and all Angelenos, because he has so much to teach and educate our public about everything that has to do with the sky.
You know, it is hard to beat being at a place that is open free to the public, and everybody is glad to be here. Everybody kind of feels like they own the place, and they do. And those things have made it an enduring emblem for Los Angeles. It is, in fact, a gift to the city of Los Angeles, to me.
This is also my kids' favorite place in the city of Los Angeles. So to be in Griffith Park, just this amazing view that you have here of not only the nature that we have, but also the entire city. I welcome everybody to come and visit the Griffith Observatory.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful 90th celebration. It's going to last all year long, and the Griffith Observatory will have an amazing array of activities throughout the whole year. So everyone should go on the Griffith Observatory website, check out what's happening that day. There are monthly opportunities to come up at night and view the heavens through telescopes. You can get your eye through the major observatory telescope. It's an amazing opportunity throughout the whole year, not just today.
Happy birthday, dear observatory. Happy birthday to you.
The diversity of faiths and religious beliefs in LA is not just a fact, it's a feature to be celebrated and welcomed in civic life. LA's Civil Rights Department hosted the city's 10th annual Religious Pluralism Day.
are here in City Hall commemorating the 10 years of the Day of Religious Pluralism to honor, to acknowledge the beautiful tapestry of our faith communities, more so to reaffirm the sacredness that exists in all of humanity, because that's what our city is about.
Pluralism is a recognition that there are different religions. We have to go beyond just a mere recognition that, yes, there are different religions. We have to go towards that genuine feeling of warm-heartedness towards each other, a genuine feeling of community, that we are all seekers of the sacred, manifesting something higher in our lives.
Faith leaders do work together, and there's really the best example of what it means to be building bridges, serving the community at a greater expanse. But to do this today, it just should have flow outward and outward. It's a ripple effect. When you drop the little stone, where those ripples go. So starting here and then out the doors of City Hall into our communities.
City Council declarations, for example, are not just something done in a vacuum and then forgotten about. For 10 years now, we've tried to live this declaration to show the city of Los Angeles we're all different pieces of mosaic. And we put together, pluralistically, we make a beautiful image.
It takes effort to reach across, to try to understand each other more deeply, and to create space for each other, and making sure that we truly are paying attention and listening so that we're lifting each other up.
Unfortunately, there are parts, not just here in the U.S., but different parts of the world where we see religion as a source of violence and sectarianism, when in fact religion is a source of love. And that's why this is really important.
Manhattan Place Elementary School unveiled a new outdoor literacy corner. We know that reading is always a good idea, but just in case the kids don't know that yet, the school drafted a Dodger star to help them catch the reading habit.
Today we are celebrating our partnership with the LA Dodgers and the Will and Kara Smith Foundation. We are unveiling our outdoor literacy corner. This provides for students with multiple opportunities to develop their love for literacy and a love for reading. And it also shows the students that reading is fun and that reading doesn't only take place inside the classroom, but reading actually can take place outdoors.
Are you guys ready to read a book? All right, so we're going to read The Bernstein Bears Go Out for the Tea.
Today is really special because we're partnering with Manhattan Place Elementary, and they are actually the second school this year that we're doing a literacy corner renovation. When we were in the World Series, we launched our first literacy corner as part of our MLB World Series Legacy Initiative. And we did so in partnership with our catcher, Will Smith, and his wife, Kara, and their foundation, Catching Hope. So all four organizations came together and we committed to doing 3 unveilings during the 2025 season. And this is the second of 3.
She called for the ball, had second, and declared him out. He made a big fuss, but she pointed out that those were the rules.
I hope they get to just enjoy this moment. You know, with me and the Dodgers here, it's a fun day. You know, they're all super excited. I love hearing the excitement they have. So hopefully when they, you know, come here each and every day they're at school in the literacy corner, they'll remember this day and remember, you know, the impacts that we had and how we just wanted them to enjoy reading. And, you know, hopefully this makes the space a little bit more enjoyable for them.
Books are a gateway to knowledge and the world around us, and having this literacy corner outdoor provides our students with an opportunity to continue developing the love of reading and gaining multiple experiences through books. And it's also a great way to let our students know, like, we have people in the community that love and care for your success. And that's why we partner with people like Will Smith and his foundation, just to show our students, like, you matter, we see you, we hear you, and you are important.
Will, go!
LA Memorial Coliseum and SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will serve as the official venues for the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. LA Mayor Karen Bass made the announcement, along with Councilmember Curran Price and Olympic and Paralympic athletes. The Coliseum was first host to the Olympics in 1932, again in 1984, and in 2028, it will become the first venue in history to host the Olympic Games for a third time. The stadium in Inglewood will host the Paralympic opening ceremony and will share the Olympic opening ceremony with the LA Coliseum, creating a dual venue celebration. For more information, visit mayor.lacity.gov/press. Angelenos celebrating with metallic balloons should keep them secure and prevent them from floating into power lines, according to the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, LADWP. The utility said that recently metallic balloons hitting equipment had caused 5 outages in 1 week, leaving nearly 3,000 customers without power. California law requires all metallic balloons to be anchored with a weight to prevent them from going into power lines. In addition, the LADWP advises that metallic balloons should never be released out. Angelenos should report any incidents of metallic balloons and power lines contact by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. For more information, visit ladwpnews.com. Mayor Karen Bass and the Economic and Workforce Development Department invite business owners to attend the 2025 Procure LA Summit. The summit will highlight working with the city's Big Three, the LA Department of Water and Power, Los Angeles World Airports, and the Port of Los Angeles. Attendees will gain insight into accessing capital and procurement opportunities for upcoming major events like the World Cup, the Super Bowl, and the 2028 Olympic Games. According to Procure LA, the summit will include networking with over 30 government agencies and prime vendors, training workshops, and on-site support from its team. The 2025 Procure LA Summit, working with the Big Three, takes place on Thursday, May 29th, beginning at 8 a.m. For more information, visit procurela.com.
Whether sworn or civilian, Asian American representation has grown in the ranks of LA's police department. At a recent cultural celebration, the department gathered to celebrate all that makes Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month a special occasion.
I'm here and honored and thrilled again to come back to MC the LAPD AAN HPI celebration. As we know, we're in Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Month, and this is just a wonderful event that the LAPD hosts each and every year.
Along with LEAP, that's short for Law Enforcement Association of Asian American Pacific, we have the Korean American Law Enforcement Organization. We're co-hosting this event.
We have brought Filipino Americans, the Chinese American, Korean Americans, Japanese American, Thai. We've also brought in a lot of food because I think that's how you best connect people. So we have Chinese food, Korean food, and some Filipino food as well. So everybody can enjoy a little bit. We did put together about 5 or 6 different performances. K-pop and Chinese music is very popular. So we also have performance by a Chinese group today.
The Asian community. We've grown in population in the city of Los Angeles. So we really wanted to celebrate and highlight all the people, the forefathers before us that brought us here. And we just wanted to celebrate with the community.
And as you can see, it's a big production. And we are very happy to have the support of the community as well as the employees of LAPD and the city of Los Angeles.
AAN HPI month, we talk a lot about amplifying our voices, right? Making sure that our voices are shared, making sure that our culture is represented, not only accurately, but beautifully, like an event like this.
And I want to say, as I look around, how it makes me feel as an Angelino and as an Asian American Angelino to grow up and see so many faces that look like mine now in law enforcement. This LAPD truly represents the city of Los Angeles, and I want to thank you all for being a part of that, and I want to thank you all for celebrating this amazing month with all of us. Thank you, everybody.
Pushing back against all forms of hate was just one aspect of a recent LA civil rights event, rooted in resilience. Community and city leaders gathered to discuss the journey from discrimination to civil rights justice, including how to access resources along the way.
We are here in the historic Little Tokyo, in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, at the Japanese American National Museum, discussing all things about Asian American and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. The name of the event is Rooted in Resilience. We have a diverse lineup of speakers from the community, from the city of Los Angeles, discussing what makes Asian American communities so unique and why our voices matter.
It's important for LA Civil Rights to step up and to say, we see you. And when we have an opportunity to celebrate a community, we are all in. And for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community, we are here. We celebrate you. We lift you.
LA City has a rare tool that only a handful of cities across the country really have. We're able to access civil rights justice at a local level. I hope we really start to understand how discrimination affects us. I think that's why it's important that we go out and talk to folks in the community, and there's an opportunity today and for our city department to get real, tangible results for communities.
One of the topics of tonight's discussion is how our Asian American community partners and stands in solidarity with other diverse communities, whether during COVID, when there were attacks against our community, especially our seniors and women, but also we stand in solidarity with the Jewish American, the African American, all communities where we push back against all forms of hate.
We love and celebrate the beautiful mosaic of Los Angeles, and we're here to have conversation with you about how we can build a Los Angeles for all.
I think the most important thing right now for people to learn about the LA Civil Rights Commission is that we are able to take complaints online, telephone, in person, and the wonderful thing about our online resource is that it is available in over 80 languages, and if you call by telephone and we have someone answering who does not speak your language, we will find someone so that you can get the language access that you need.
We need to share these resources. If people don't know these resources exist, they won't access them.
The city of LA designated historic Filipino town in 2002, and 22 years later, Baryo Hi-Fi came on the scene. This community block party brings the crowds out for food vendors, music performances, and family fun in the heart of historic Filipino town.
Today we are here in historic Filipino town celebrating Baryo Hi-Fi, which is an incredible celebration of different nonprofits, foods, and community leaders coming together to celebrate the Philippine culture. As we know, Filipinos outside of the Philippines call Los Angeles their home at very large numbers. And so especially in District 13, we want to uplift them, celebrate them, and be with them side by side in anything they do, including this amazing festival. So we're going to have a great time, eat some food, and maybe sing some karaoke.
Baryo Hi-Fi is a grassroots community-led festival made by Filipino Americans. This is our second annual festival. We expanded it 2 extra big blocks. So we have 20 food vendors this year. Compared to last year, we had 10. So every year, I feel like it's expanding, it's growing.
Well, this festival is great. I mean, there's a lot of vendors. The vibes are great. Being Filipino, there's a great sense of community here. Makes me proud to be Filipino.
I grew up in the Philippines, and so I've missed my country very much, and it feels like home. Being here feels like home. It's the closest to home that I've felt.
You know, the Filipino community is so welcoming and filled with fun and love, and putting together an event like this with so many people and so many amazing Filipino businesses is really special to us, and we feel really, you know, honored and grateful to be able to host something like this in historic Filipino town.
Come and visit Baryo Hi-Fi. You can experience great food, experience merch, everything that you miss about Philippines, you can experience here.
This festival is completely different because we highlight Filipino American creatives, and We're just trying to showcase and bring a lot of light and a lot of energy to that, because usually Filipinos are always in the backgrounds of every moment. So Los Angeles, California is our dear home now, and we want to bring a lot of traffic to the historic Filipino town. We want to bring awareness to the Filipino-American culture, and it's welcome to everybody. It's not just Filipinos. We want to welcome all of our POC members. Everyone's welcome. Just come with a good vibe.
We go from cultural celebrations past to an upcoming one. The third annual June Jubilee at Downtown Central Library will be a community celebration of Black excellence. And we got a sneak preview of all that's coming up.
June Jubilee is an annual celebration of Black excellence here at the library. We offer a wide range of activities and entertainment. It is family friendly, so there will be plenty of workshops for the children. There will be bracelet making, crown making, just a lot of fun arts and craft that will kind of capture their interest. We will have cultural entertainment and things that are fundamental in the Black community. That includes urban line dancing, which is kind of a staple in the Black community. There will be double dutching, which I'm sorry, my fellow community, I don't know how to. There will be cooking classes and classes that are just informative about food. We will have a choir. There will also be hip hop and R&B bingo, which I'm very excited about this year. It will include a lot of other genres like funk and disco. We will have a libation and drum circle, which is very wonderful because you'll be able to get your blessing. So one of the wonderful things about this year's libation and drum ceremony is we will have a poem by Laureate Lynn Thompson that she made specifically for this year's June Jubilee. It is important that the library puts on events like this that celebrate different ethnicities because, one, we are the Central Library. We are a hub of various ethnicities. We want everyone to feel included. We want everyone to feel welcomed. That is one of our big mottos coming into the library, that everyone is welcome. So it's very important that, especially in the city of Los Angeles, that everyone is able to come in and not feel left out and not feel unseen. This festival, yes, celebrates the Black community, but in part of celebrating the Black community, we are so welcoming to everyone. We want everyone to learn about us. We want everyone to see how we celebrate, to see how we love, to see how we dance and sing. So please don't be hesitant about coming out. So the June Jubilee Festival will be happening here at Central Library in Los Angeles on 5th and Flower. It will happen June 14th, which is a Saturday at 9:30. It is free. It is completely free. You can find additional information on our lapl.org/June Jubilee website, or you can visit any of our social media platforms.
In this week's feature story, the city of Los Angeles is the only city in the U.S., so far, to celebrate Hapa Day. It's a day that affirms life's rich tapestry and uplifts those who don't fit neatly into one particular box.
I'm so honored to recognize once again Hapa Day in the city of Los Angeles.
This is the third annual Hapa Day. It's a proclamation celebrating people of mixed heritage, particularly mixed Asian heritage.
Hapa is a Hawaiian word for part. That sentiment, the idea of being part something and part something else, has spread beyond the islands of Hawaii. This term really resonates with so many of us.
Today's presentation is so incredibly meaningful because it uplifts those who don't really fit neatly into one box. It affirms that there is beauty in complexity and strength in multiplicity.
People came from many different walks of life, and Hapa, we stand for unity and embracing everyone.
It's a complicated time in America to be a person of mixed-race heritage. This is a sign that we reject that premise, that diversity is something to be feared. Diversity is American.
Congratulations to today's honoree, DJ Hapa.
I stand on the shoulders of those who have come before me, especially the previous generations who fought to pioneer Hapa Day in Los Angeles. And thank you to the city of LA for being at the forefront of honoring our Hapa heritage. Can we make some noise for the city of LA? This is the first and only city right now that recognizes Hapa Day. This is designed to be inclusive. The DJ rig is designed to be inclusive. We've got a source on side A and a source on side B. So we could have a Kendrick Lamar song on side A, and we could have an Earth, Wind, and Fire song on side B, right? We can make that happen through this.
The first thing and the second thing are beautiful on their own, but also beautiful is the third thing that can come from the mixture of both of those.
DJ Hapa, we have a City of Los Angeles recognition for you.
Hapa told me about this event. There was no way in HELL that I was going to miss this.
Here we go. Hey! All right, DJ Raman.
I just think that my parents' generation, but not my parents, oh no, you have to keep it pure. If you are Irish, you marry Irish. If you're whatever, you don't leave your tribe. But excuse me, we are in America. I think people came here for a reason. They didn't want to be kept in whatever box they were born into.
It wasn't until 1967 the Supreme Court had a case, I think it was Loving versus Virginia, and that is what changed all of that from a legal perspective when it came to the states of allowing interracial marriage. And that's so crazy.
The world and the powers that be tell two sets of people you shouldn't be able to get together. We're going to make laws so you can't get together. Not only do you get together, you make up a tribe and create a whole movement behind it. And so that's the spirit of resistance that is so Los Angeles and so Hapa. So thank you for that, and a big round of applause to everybody who's a part of the Hapa movement.
Thank you.
In this week's Things to Do, sign up to help shine up parts of LA. We go to a one-stop shop for youth resources and enjoy a zero-waste open house at LA Sanitation. All this up next on Things to Do.
In honor of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Mayor Karen Bass and city leaders invite you to Shine LA, AAPI Day of Service, taking place on Saturday, May 31st. Angelenos from across the city will engage in community service activities with family, friends, and neighbors. Volunteers will pick up trash, plant trees, remove graffiti, and more. Join city leaders and departments to beautify neighborhoods from San Pedro to the San Fernando Valley. Head to the website for a full list of locations for Shine LA, AAPI Day of Service on Saturday, May 31st, beginning at 9 a.m. To find out more, visit mayor.lacity.gov/ShineLA. On Saturday, May 31st, LA City's Youth Development Department hosts its Youth Expo. Now in its third year, the Expo is a one-stop shop resource fair for youth ages 14 to 26 and their families. The event will feature on-site job hiring, career and workforce development workshops, mental health services, as well as community engagement and leadership opportunities. Enjoy free lunch, a workplace fashion show, an arts and culture activity zone, and giveaways. Join the City of LA's Youth Development Department and over 90 exhibitors at Los Angeles Trade Tech College. Youth Expo 2025 takes place on Saturday, May 31st from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. For more information, visit ydd.lacity.gov. Get ready for LA City Sanitation and Environment Open House Series of 2025. On Saturday, May 31st, head to the North Central District Yard to experience a zero-waste event like no other. This open house showcases LA Sanitation's curbside collection and recycling programs. Learn more about how to reduce waste, and of course, you get to check out the sanitation trucks. They'll be on display, and you can check out how they operate. Toot your own horn about recycling at LA San Open House, happening on Saturday, May 31st, beginning at 10 a.m. For more information, visit sanitation.lacity.gov. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's all for this week. I'm Susan Huckle, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can watch us online anytime at lacityview.org. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
What does it take to move a mountain that no one wants to climb? When they tell you there's no answer, how do you change the heart and mind? Can you face the road to freedom when the past is in your way? In the darkness of the night, the future may be hard to find, but I believe that there's a day. All it takes is one good day. All we need is one good day. And I will find one good day. 'Cause all it takes is one
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Los Angeles City Council. Today is the 28th day of May in the year 2025. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in person in this John Ferraro City Council chambers of Los Angeles City Hall. Let's begin our time together today by calling the roll.
Yes, sir. Blumenthal, Harris, Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Gerardo, Lee, McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 11 members present in a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of May 27, 2025.
All right, Councilmember Rahman moves, Councilmember Park seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Padilla moves, Councilmember Hernandez seconds. What's next? Can run through the agenda.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, there is a request to hold item number 10 on the desk, and items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 3 through 14 are items which public hearing has been held. For item number 4, there is a technical correction on today's agenda. Item number 4, recommendation number 4, references a table contained in motion Hernandez Hutt, but is missing a date on the motion. The motion is dated April 23rd, 2025. For item 14, the committee report has been submitted and is now online under Council File 25-0499. Items 15 through 23 are items which public hearings have not been held. For the record, no action is required on item 22 inasmuch as the budget resolution for fiscal year 2025-26 has not been submitted at this time. Item 24 is a closed session item for which public hearing has been held, and 10 votes are required for consideration, sir.
All right, without objection, those items are before us. Before I call for specials, I just want to check with our public safety folks in the room. We've got these flashing lights. Oh, there's testing? Okay, so nobody worry, it's just a test. Specials members. Any specials? Council member, any on my left? Any on my right? Council member Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 12 because my wife's employer has worked with an organization on this item in the past. Thank you.
All right, any other specials? All right, seeing none, which items are before us?
Mr. President, Council may now vote on items 3 through 9, as well as 13 and 14, sir.
All right, those items are now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote. All right. What's next?
Mr. President, there is also a request to hold number 24 on the desk. That's the closed session matter. And what is next is council can take public comment or...
So item 24 is closed session, right? Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, so we'll hold 24 on the desk, and perhaps we'll have closed session on that item. And before we go to public comment, Madam Clerk, I want to recognize Councilmember Hernandez for a very special announcement and presentation. Still a test. Thank you so much, Councilmember.
join us if you can. Yeah, join us.
All right.
Well, at least we know the systems work.
Yes.
So we're good.
Councilmember Hernandez, you have
Great.
a lot of engineers with you, which we may need
Yes.
this morning.
There's a lot of math behind me. I feel it. A lot of numbers, a lot of calculating. My brother's an engineer. Literally whole whiteboards full of numbers. Please join us. Thank you so much. Come on in, team. Good morning, colleagues. Today we're here to celebrate the retirement of two outstanding public servants who have helped shape the Los Angeles we know and love. Ted Allen, city engineer, and Julie Allen, assistant director at the Bureau of Sanitation. Together, Ted and Julie have devoted more than 64 years of combined service to the city of Los Angeles. What's even more inspiring is that they've done it together. Their partnership in both life and public service is truly something special and goals for a lot of us. We will present each of them with the resolution to recognize their contributions, but first I would like to say a few words about each of them, starting with Ted and then Julie. Ted Allen grew up in Whittier and graduated from UCLA in 1992 with a degree in civil engineering. As a bonus, he met his future partner in city service and in life, Julie. Just a year later, in 1993, Ted joined the Bureau of Engineering as a civil engineering assistant, beginning what would become a 31-year career in service to the people of Los Angeles. Ted rose through the ranks to become city engineer in 2022 and never lost sight of the importance of mentorship. He prioritized employee development by launching a leadership training course, led a technical training series, and initiated management training to make sure that there were other leaders that he could build up behind him. He's had a hand in nearly every project you can imagine, landslide repairs and street infrastructure to animal shelters. For 20 years, he's been a national leader in public works, helping cities across California and the country raise the bar on their capital project delivery through a benchmarking group with the American Public Works Association. Ted has managed a capital project portfolio worth over $5 billion. Under his leadership, the city adopted systems that brought new levels of reliability and accountability to project scheduling. Ted helped lead the Build LA permitting portal project. He helped modernize it with an electric appointment system for virtual and in-person visits and gave the public real-time access to permit statuses, clearances, and appointments. He helped build the dashboards that track every key city data, project timelines, permits, service fees, customer service requests, homeless housing projects, affordable housing, all to make sure the people of Los Angeles get the services they deserve. It's hard to measure the impact of a 31-year career, but Ted, your legacy is built into the systems and the people of Los Angeles. Now, I would like to invite Ted Allen to share a few words with us. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Hernandez. I'm used to being here recognizing other people, so it feels uncomfortable a little bit being the one recognized, but I do really appreciate all of your time and taking the time out of your day to do this. I want to really start by thanking the City Council for all the changes you made in the budget process and all of the jobs that you saved, not just in engineering, but in other departments. And I wanted to relay to you all the number of emails and in-person thank yous that I've received from our employees that their jobs were at risk. You really made a difference in a lot of lives. So I wanted to start out with that thank you. There was a lot in there, so I'm going to make this very short, but I do want to encourage you, and I want to thank you and encourage you to continue with that path of paying more attention to employee development. I really think, so often we have all the metrics on the outputs of things, the projects and permits, and those are important too. But it's something that really struck me late in my career. We really need to pay more attention to a more intentional way of approaching employee development and what are we doing to prepare them, what are we doing to train them. And so I really thank you and your support in that in the recent years in the budgets as well. I do want to say I have mixed emotions. It's very hard to leave. I've really, really enjoyed working with the city and working with all of you. And I'm really going to miss it. I'll probably still come and hang out at some of the social gatherings from time to time to see you all, if that's okay. And I want to thank all the coworkers that are here. And it's, the Bureau of Engineering, it's just been such a pleasure to lead. And I feel like I don't know, I just feel like I'm the luckiest person on earth to lead the Bureau of Engineering and work for the city of LA. I want to thank Julie, of course, for her many years of marriage and partnership, and also we often kind of vent with each other when we have stressful things, so very helpful. I want to thank Gary Lee Moore, our former city engineer, and Deborah Weintraub, our chief deputy city engineer. They've been two of the key mentors in my career, many more as well, and all of those here, a lot of the Build LA team and others, just it's really hard to lead, but I'm very excited. We're very excited to get to see the kids more, the family more, and traveling, and so just want to thank you all.
Thank you. This one is for Ted. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. Now allow me to say a few words about Julie Allen. Julie began her public service journey in 1991 as a student engineer at LADWP. After graduating from UCLA, she ascended every rung in Los Angeles, leading to a successful 33-year career here in the city of LA. By 2015, she was leading one of the most high-profile infrastructure projects in the city, the 6th Street Viaduct replacement. When the bridge opened in 2022, it became a new city landmark and a career-defining moment. Julie was promoted to assistant director at the Bureau of Sanitation. She took the helm of the Clean Water Program, overseeing a team of 500 and leading work that impacts us all, like wastewater, flood protection, green infrastructure, and the Safe Clean Water Program. Her project portfolio is unmatched. It includes the $42 million Echo Park Lake Rehabilitation Project, the $110 million Machado Lake Ecosystem Rehabilitation Project, and the $587 million 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project. Julie has also been an amazing leader in developing the MacArthur Park Lake Restoration Project, which aims to reduce our dependence on potable water and increase opportunities for recreational activities, yes, in MacArthur Park, and yes, in the MacArthur Park Lake. In times of crisis, Julie steps up. After the Palisades fire, she led the city's Watershed Hazard Mitigation Task Force, focused on protecting lives, homes, and ecosystems from post-firestorm damage. Julie has held leadership positions in local and national organizations, including co-chair of the Climate and Resiliency Committee for the National Association of Clean Water Agencies, a member of the Utility Public Right-of-Way Committee for the American Public Works Association, and a board member of Clean Water Southern California. Julie's career has been ambitious, collaborative, impactful, and we're so grateful for her service. Now I'll invite her to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Hernandez. Thank you to Council President and City Council members. I really appreciate you honoring Ted and I today on our long career. It's been such a blessing to be able to work for the city and develop so many projects and services that the residents of Los Angeles can appreciate. And I just want to say that during the challenging times with the storms and the fires, it has really helped me understand how valuable the people are in the Bureau of Sanitation and how hard all of them work every day, and my engineering family and friends too, how hard they work every day to keep the sewage flowing, to keep the storms from flooding residents. And I'm just so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with these wonderful people in Public Works, and I thank you. And I also want to thank Ted and our kids for supporting us during this long career. It's, you can't do it without having the right support with you. And I'm going to do a shout out to our daughter who's graduating next week from UCLA in aerospace engineering. Not an easy task either, so go Bruins. So again, thank you all, and I look forward to the future with Ted and all the things that we get to do after retirement, but thank you for everything. Yeah. Again, thank you. It's too late now.
All right, Councilmember Hutt. We have Councilmember Hernandez. I'm sorry.
Thank
we
you.
have a few members on the queue.
Okay.
If we can call on them now, I'll begin with Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. And Ted and Julie, I haven't had as many years as some of the other members to work with each of you, but it has been just a tremendous experience to get to know you both. Julie, thank you so much for the commitment to all of the clean water programs, the work that we've done on the watershed and in and around Hyperion, and your dedication to the coastline and understanding the really unique, sensitive issues. Ted, your response in the wake of the wildfires, you and your crews on the ground in the Palisades, every single day, the sight of you provided relief in a moment and a time when that is what we all just so desperately needed. We are really going to miss you, but you leave behind an incredible legacy, and know that you are always family in CD11 and you are always welcome to come hang. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Padilla.
So I gotta admit, I had no idea this was coming. I'm actually really sad, really mad, really mixed emotions. But I just gotta say, I didn't know the story to the couple. What a beautiful, like, LA City Hall story. I hope you guys write it and turn it into a book and talk about all of the things that you like built together and the intricacies of like having that. I would definitely read it. You know, I had more of an opportunity to work with you, Ted, and I gotta say, I will forever remember you and appreciate that when I first got here, you pushed that you needed to talk to me, that you needed to talk to my office, that there was a lot going on in CD6, and you really needed me to like make some decisions. And I appreciated that because I didn't realize just how much was happening in my district, but it was very refreshing to know that you have a history with CD6 and that you have been building in CD6. So from everything to your work on the Sepulveda Basin, and of course the two projects that I'm watching like a hawk, our Lita Sepulveda, as well as the roller derby in coalition with RAP and DWP, you know, your staff has always been very responsive, and I appreciate that. And you know, when I got to see you in action as well, when I was on the Plum Committee, and also through Gov Operations with the way that it works with ITA, I can really tell that you've developed a lot of institutional things for the city. And I hope your daughter, who is now a new wave of an engineer, it's like she's got a lot to grow on because you really did build. So thank you for all that you've done for the city. Thank you for being a good partner when I was still very new to this place. And I wish you luck. I hope we continue to see you around. And again, please write that book. I'm really sad. I'm really mad. There's gonna be big shoes to fill. Because one thing that I will also say is, I know we've all felt this before, man, is it impossible to get any support from the Army Corps of Engineers. But under your leadership, we've really chalked that down. So thank you again to all of you, to you, to Julie, for having a great career, and we're gonna miss you guys. Thank you.
Councilmember Rahman.
Well, thank you so much, Councilmember Hernandez, for this presentation, but I will say it is a sad day. The two of you have contributed so much, and I too didn't know that you were a couple until fairly recently, but your service to the city has really been remarkable, and your achievements are immense and visible in the lives of Angelinos every single day. Ted, I want to say that I think this marks both of your careers, but I've had the privilege of working with you on issues that are behind the scenes, that are the scaffolding for how our city works better, notably Build LA. That's a project that does not generate headlines. That's a project that is all about making our city work better, making our departments communicate better, and you have shepherded that through multiple mayoral administrations, through departmental changes across the entire city, and you've pushed that forward every step of the way. And now we're at a big milestone, but making sure that that kind of project moves forward, that's a labor of love to LA. And that's exactly the kind of service that actually both of you have given to the city. So I want to thank you very, very much, and we're really going to miss you.
Councilmember Lee.
So this is a sad day. Julie, I feel like, we've worked together my 23 years here in the city of Los Angeles. I feel like you staffed the Public Works Committee or something when Councilmember Smith was the chair of that. And then Ted, really appreciate my time in office. I feel like we've grown closer then, and I really appreciate your knowledge and the resource of having you as someone that I could turn to. But I want to say it wasn't until I think last year when Julie and I were on a trip to Washington, D.C. to accept an award on behalf of the city that I asked Julie, I'm like, why did you move from engineering to sanitation? She said, well, I just didn't want to make sure there wasn't any sort of conflict. And I said, conflict with what? She said, well, with Ted. I said, you guys are married? I've known you both for 20 years. I didn't know you guys were married. So I just want to say that it's great to see the guys retiring together. It's great to see that other people have the same plan as me and my wife. My wife has let me know the second I retire, that's it. She's done. She's retiring as well. It means you guys like each other. It means you like hanging out with each other. And I just want to say it's well-deserved. And I just want to say thank you for everything, all the contributions you've made to the city of Los Angeles, both of you. And just happy retirement.
Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Councilman, for bringing this real dynamic couple before us today. Ted, you've been a real friend to the district, always a friend when we ask for help or guidance, and you and your team always been there. And to know that you had a little secret help from a spouse who was an angel in her own right. Julie, we're just so proud of you. I didn't have a chance to know you or meet you, but certainly know you by reputation. And like your husband, you both are valued here. We appreciate your commitment, your service, and your willingness to give. And so thank you and congratulations on an exciting retirement.
Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you so much, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez, for highlighting the Bureau of Engineering. Our city wouldn't be beautiful without you. You take care and you build all of our assets. As a council member for the 6th Street Viaduct, thank you so much to you both, Julie, especially you. Eventually, we'll light it up just for you. Thank you. Eventually. Let me get
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Thanks. Just wanted to add my voice of gratitude and thank you, Councilwoman Hernandez, for bringing this forward. But the two of you are really quintessential LA public servants. You make this city. You have made this city. We are a better place because of both of you. I can only imagine throughout your lives as you take your kids walking around the city what that must be like. While we might point out the bridge or, oh, look at the hillside, you're going to point out all the ins and outs of what actually happened to make that happen, or you're going to look at the hillside and think about the study and or in the future when you're walking by the Reseda skate rink, Ted, and you'll think, yes, I worked with that pain in the ass Bob on this, and we finally got it done. And every bit of LA as you walk around has a story that you guys have been inextricably linked to, and that's pretty amazing. I mean, you really are Los Angeles in so many ways, and I just wanted to express my gratitude. Both of you have done so much, and I certainly appreciate it. We all see it. The general public may not see it every day because you're behind the scenes making it happen, but you know it, and that's why I want to be a fly on the wall in the next time you're walking around the city with your kids and pointing everything out. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Councilmember McCosker.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez, for this. That book that Councilmember Padilla wants should be called Engineers in Love. Subtitled Our Secret Marriage. Because I didn't know either. When I was in private life, and the first time Gary Lee Moore fobbed me off to Ted Allen, I didn't know who you were, and what a revelation. I never called Gary Lee Moore back after that. Every time I had a problem, it was always to you, Ted, and thank you so much. And it certainly has continued in public life with your focus on not only providing a great product, but also mentoring so many great folks. And Julie, your imprint on this city from the viaduct to Machado Lake is fantastic. And you know, in my district, Machado Lake is such a revelation, so important. So grateful to you. Thank you for all of your service. Thank you for the example of your marriage and family. Thank you for your example of hard work. And Ted, when you get home, give those flowers to Julie, okay?
Councilmember Hernandez.
Julie and Ted, your leadership and legacy are an inspiration. Side by side, you've built careers in public service, raised two brilliant children, Noah and Kira, both engineers themselves, and made a lasting impact on our city, both in the leadership that you've developed, but also the infrastructure that you've built here in the city. And to all the friends, family, and colleagues who joined us, thank you for being here and helping us give Julie and Ted a proper send-off. Let's give them one huge round of applause for all the work they've done here for the city.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Hernandez, and to the full council and to the Allens. Thank you so much for your service to our great city. All right, I'll ask the city attorney and clerk to prepare us for public comment.
To people providing public comment, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment on the agenda today are items 1 and 2 and items 15 through 23. So again, let me repeat. The items open for public comment on the agenda today are items 1 and 2 and items 15 through 23. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or anything else in a city's subject matter jurisdiction. I have a couple more announcements. If I could have the interpreters make this first one aloud to the room, please. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
Si requiere interpretación de español en inglés, a inglés, por favor, no se olviden de dar una pausa después de cada frase para permitir la interpretación.
Don't worry, you will get the same amount of time as everyone else, as we will pause your time while the interpreters are interpreting.
También durante su comentario vamos a pausar su tiempo para permitir la interpretación, así que no se preocupe porque va a recibir la misma cantidad de tiempo que los otros comentaristas.
One final announcement. So the order in which we take public comment is at random. It's randomly generated. So I would ask that in order to help us accommodate as many speakers as possible and to run an efficient public comment, please wait until you hear the name you signed up under before you line up on your left-hand side of the council chambers. So again, that's the name you signed up under at the kiosk, not necessarily your real name. Once you hear that, you can line up in any order on the left-hand side of council chambers. Thank you.
Karen Peterson, Jesse, and Kendra Moxon.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Yes, good morning. We're going to do all items and general public comment, and I'll walk you through the items.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
So we take a look at item number 1, and it's regarding the dedication of an easement and also following up with subsequent enforcement of the easement. Well, here's the issue we have. I actually spoke to a gentleman, and he had an issue. He obtained a Type R permit. He still got fined, but it was an event he held right on a public easement nearby this area over on West Century Boulevard. And interestingly enough, he told me about a little story where he had obtained a memo from the city attorney's office saying that, quote, "we do not prosecute corporate defendants." Now, why would you say that? Well, interestingly enough, if you take a look at some of the history on enforcement and the career history of the city attorney herself, Heidi Feldstein Soto, she actually worked for the Arthur Anderson accounting firm.
So, Speaker,
that
you're
was the
welcome to
same
speak this
firm-
during general, but I fail to see how this is connected to item 1. So I'm going to ask that you please stick to the agenda items for the first 3 minutes, or I'm going to move you to general public
I'll
comment.
explain it to you. My worry is that, you know, we have these easements, just like item number 2, but how are we going to enforce on who trespasses on the easement, who violates the blockading of the public right-of-way on the easement? And that's my problem, because we know from the city attorney's office, from the Sierra Club,
I
that they,
think
in
this is
fact,
best
don't
left for
enforce
general.
any
Again, item number 1
prosecution.
is a very specific dedication of an easement. So if
we'll
you'd
move
like
on-
to
we'll
speak
move
to the
on-
items,
yep,
you
we'll move
can,
on to item
or
number
you can move
3.
to general public comment.
Yeah, we'll move on to item number 3 as part of the multiple agenda item. We have an issue here regarding bonds. Now, what's the issue with bonds? The bond issue is that you have to disclose the method of payment publicly, which is not disclosed here. And again, how are we going to enforce any sort of wrongdoing?
Can you hold this time really quick? I actually couldn't hear which item. Hold on. I paused your time. You said item 3?
Yes.
So item number 3 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general.
We can still make public comment, even though it's not going to be heard on the record for public comment.
Hold on. It's not your opportunity to speak. Your time is paused. So just as a reminder to everyone, you have up to an initial 3 minutes. That's 1 minute per item for the items open for public comment. As a courtesy, the items that are open for public comment are 1 and 2, and items 15 through 23. So, Speaker, I'm going to start your clock, and you can use the remaining 1 minute and 21 seconds to speak to those items, or if you'd like, you can move to general public comment, but you will not receive another warning. Go ahead.
Yep, so we're going to talk about the 22 annual budget resolution, and we have, again, a crisis happening in the city regarding the city's budget, and it's likely because the city attorney does not prosecute violators to actually obtain revenue for that budget in the form of fines, whether they be the blockade of the public right-of-way, whether they be a corporate entity that is committing criminal acts and prosecuting them and obtaining fines in such a way. And we know that because the city attorney herself, in fact, worked for the Arthur Anderson accounting firm that was the same firm used by Enron to commit massive wide-scale fraud all across the nation. And again, quote, "It takes one conviction." That's all it takes. It takes just one conviction for a corporation to go down. Well, Heidi Feldstein Soto is right in that regard, and she's scared to actually give money to the city in a legal way because she knows people will expose her. That's why we have to thank Michelle McGuinness for being able to depose her, and that's why some of that money could have gone to a budget by prosecuting people like Scientology for their public right-of-way violations on L. Ron Hubbard Way. And with that, we'll move over to the general public comment period.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
We have an issue here where you have a known criminal. The biggest gang in Los Angeles is, in fact, not the LASD or the LAPD. It is, in fact, the prosecutorial gang. It is the prosecutorial gang of the city attorney's office and the DA's office. That is the biggest gang in Los Angeles. This family knows it. That's why they're trying to run away from the city attorney himself. And it's a major problem. The biggest gang in Los Angeles is Heidi Feldstein Soto. And how do you have a sitting attorney for the city attorney's office who literally worked for the same accounting firm that Enron is known for committing wide-scale criminal acts, fraud being one of them? That's what Los Angeles constitutes. It's led by two criminals, Heidi Feldstein Soto and Nathan Hochman, but in particular the vindictive nature of Heidi Feldstein Soto, who was sanctioned $250,000 for vexatious and malicious litigation in her own divorce case. She was disobeying court orders outright by withdrawing from community funds and issuing over 400 subpoenas. That's what Heidi Feldstein Soto is, a criminal.
Next speaker.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a few more names. Imam Malik Tariq Mahmood, Zahir Malik, and Olu.
Hello? Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sorry, yes, I want to speak on everything and public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. First one, number one, and I want to do a thing that's called like compare and contrast. And okay, because it is about right giving up an easement, and I have concerns about that because it has to do with trust. You know, this past year, I've just seen how the city has handled all the permits and everything with L. Ron Hubbard and all the everything with their illegal planters, and I lost trust. I did, because the city didn't do anything. They didn't come. I've been here how many times, and Mr. Hugo doesn't like to listen to it because he doesn't want to hear the truth, which is okay, But the thing is that it took a bunch of people standing up and pushing back and getting a CASP report and just to finally get somewhere to get the ADA things eased up and certain things. So I don't trust you guys to really be looking into this easement to make sure that it's correct. Why do we have to give away city property?
So you've exhausted your 1 minute on item number one.
Okay, thank you, sir. How about number two? Okay, so continuing with this place, I have the same concerns that I had in number one as far as not trusting because of all the, what I saw, your lack of doing anything with the Scientology issues that I've been a year now coming here for. And although there has been improvement, so I would like to thank you, and I am going to, I'd like to thank Mr. Hugo for that because I'm thinking that he may have something to do with that. I give credit where credit's due. But I'm concerned. I don't understand. Why do we have to give up our land? Why do we have to, you can never recreate real estate, and if the city owns it, I can see doing like the adopt a median type of thing and maybe letting them adopt it to where they, take care of it, put their name up or whatever, but why do we have to turn it over to them, to their ownership? Does that make sense? Okay, I did my minute, right? Thank you, I got you. See, I like that we have like these, like we can, you kind of look at me and I'm reading you loud and clear. Okay, so then I want to do about the fire emergency. Let's give, I want to give some kudos to Councilwoman Park. I think, she stood up and she just really took leadership after the fire, and that was, I know, like a crisis, right? And you went through hell, I bet, but I felt that you kept your dignity and you kept fighting for your constituents, and so I thank you for that. So if you feel that this emergency needs to continue, then I'm going to, say yes. But can you please also, in the meantime, ask Mr. Hugo to do a better job with the Scientology stuff? Just put in a good word for me, please, ma'am. And, and so I do appreciate you for that.
General public comment.
Okay, general public comment. Shout out to Smoke and Scan, because they keep you all, they're all watching you too and making sure you're all, see, they're watching you, like, not listen, Mr. McCosker, oh my gosh. Because he's like the good one. He was always the good one. And now, Smoke and Scan, are you catching that? But anyway, all right, I have a permit. The city does not think we're violent, scary criminals they get what we're doing, we're protesting. So on Father's Day, and I'm hoping Smoke and Scan will be there, at least, eyes on to see and help us celebrate this, because we are taking a stand against the ADA abuses and family separation. It's peaceful. Everything is about peace and loving the people in those buildings. We've been here fighting for the people in the big blue building, but they're starting to send people who out in the protester community to antagonize and to assault. One protester was assaulted, one was menaced, and one the same guy came to me too. He left me alone. He didn't do anything to me. I mean, hopefully he was scared that I would roll him, because I would, but.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to? Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, everybody. This is some saying of our holy prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him. My name is Zahir Malik, and I'm from Muslim Ahmadiyya community. I'm going to read. He is not a believer whose stomach is filled while his neighbor goes hungry. Also, he advised to his companion, He advised to his companion, if you cook a stew, increase its broth and share it with your neighbors. Thank you very much. God bless you guys all.
Thank you. Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. I'm just speaking on the general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
My name is Oluseyi Banjo. I'm here to speak on the general comment. I'm a member of LA CAN and a resident living in CD 14 in Skid Row at the Rainbow Hotel. I've been there for almost 13 years. I'm here today because the conditions in our building are terrible. We are formerly part of the Skid Row Housing Trust, but now we're owned by the Hart Management Company. And right now it is, we don't have any security. Units are subpar, rats, roaches, and all that good stuff is happening. And too many tenants are left to feel unsafe, including just crime all over the place. Our voices matter, and you need to hear us, because we're not going anywhere. And please support the anti-harassment tenant bill. And that's all I have to say.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a few more names. Stacy Segarra Bollinger, Clyde, and Audit LA.
Respected mayors and council members.
Good morning. Before you begin, feel free to adjust the microphone as you see fit. And which items would you like to speak to?
This is non-agenda item.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead, sir.
Respected mayor and council members, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Imam Malik Tariq Mahmood, missionary of Ahmadiyya Muslim community. I am going to share only one verse of the Holy Quran to see what the Holy Quran teaches us. God says in the Holy Quran, worship God and associate nothing with him, and to parents do good, and to relatives, orphans, the needy, the near neighbor, the neighbor farther away, the companion at your side, the traveler, and those whom your right hand possess. Indeed, Allah does not like those who are self-deluding and boastful. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. First minute. I'm here in support of demands of the Keep LA Housed Coalition. As a renter myself, I am fully aware of how our system far too often punishes the hardworking while rewarding a broad laziness captured in the exploitive practices of rent collecting. This despite the fact that basic necessities are all that motivates most people that stand here before you to address this body. Basic necessities such as simple peace of mind, comfort, and joy that shelters so often provides. Shelters for our dreams and memories and lives lived. I have to ask myself, what glimmers of hope I could find growing up or winding up on Skid Row and its dangerous atrocities and housing solutions. I have to wonder, in 3 seconds, how to conclude. I'm here to support housing rights and the unhoused. Thank you very much.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a few more names. General Dogon, George Herod, and Shamika F.
And before the next speaker begins, just as an announcement to everyone in the room. So I understand that time can go rather quickly. If you have additional comments that you would like to make, or if we run out of time to hear you speak today or any other day, you're more than welcome to leave additional written comments at lacouncilcomment.com. You can find that URL either by a quick Google search. It should be one of the first things, if not the first thing that comes up, or you can find the URL at the top of every council agenda, or towards the top. Thank you. Good
Thank
morning.
you, Grote. All items and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Item 15 is related to the declaration of local emergency relating to the windstorms and subsequent fires that happened back in January. This body loves to declare an emergency, and it does help us open revenues for funding and action that we wouldn't have access to were we not to declare emergency. But I just wonder how many times we're going to continue to renew emergency resolutions without taking substantive steps to deal with the fallout from those emergencies. There was a huge benefit concert for the fires, raised something like $100 million. And it looks like most of that funding has gone to administrative costs to the 501c3s that facilitated and were the beneficiary of that. So the council should maybe look into those types of fraudulent events and get that funding to the people who really need it. We have some REAP motions on this agenda as well. It's been said before that REAP works, but clearly it's not. Clearly the rent escrow account program is not a deterrent or an incentive for landlords to do their jobs, abate when they get notices, keep their units livable, because we see so many of these rent escrow motions on the agenda regularly. And I think that if after a certain amount of time of an account being in escrow, one of these REAP motions, if as time goes on, the percentage of that account funding that the landlord gets back would be reduced, that might be an incentive. If they abate in 30 days, they get 100% back. If they abate in over 60 days, maybe the tenant gets to keep 30% when that account closes. If it takes them more than 90 days, I think the tenant should get to keep all of their rent because they've been living in subpar conditions, and we know that just from the existence of these REAP accounts. So let's go to 23. This is a motion to essentially, I think, not grant raises that were previously bargained for to help the budget. It says to not allow a 4% salary adjustment for non-represented employees. I assume adjustment was meant to be a raise, not a reduction. And I just want to know if this body or the highly paid electeds and administrators that work for the city have made any such adjustments. If you're reducing your own salaries or reducing your own staffing to account for it and not just offloading that to the lowest paid workers and departments that are already spread thin. To be honest, I don't know what field deputies really do other than act as political agents for the council members they work for, and those are taxpayer-funded jobs.
General public comment.
We know that private equity is buying up a lot of housing, and it is plain to see that it's driving up the price of rent. Nithya says we just need to build more, but when we build more homes, we should ask who it's for. Council private equity should be banned from owning rentals, not only single family homes, every kind of rental. You can gather information, but then we gotta see some action. Corporations don't need homes, people do. Thank you, Tim, for paying attention to that one. Shout out to Smoke and Scan, and I hope that along with single-family housing, we can get corporations and private equity out of the rental market altogether.
Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Just general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go
General
ahead.
Dogon, Shut It Down Organized with LA King. I'm here today with other members of our committee, and we're here today to support the former Skid Row Housing Trust tenants. You know, for like 10 years, I stayed in Skid Row Housing Trust building of the Sanborn on Main Street. The conditions got so bad, I ended up leaving. Got to the point I wouldn't live there for free. So it ain't no surprise to where these buildings end at today, in the conservatorship and then being sold off to a private developer. But what is a surprise is the twist that the mayor put down, right? Instead of the city taking responsibility, right, and having a chance to really, own some business for the buildings for some people, they end up punting your responsibility to private developers, already knowing what they're going to do. It's all about money to them. So now you created these anti-tenants harassment ordinance, so we ain't got no other choice and no other opportunity, no other avenue to come here but to tell y'all to do what y'all voted to do, is that y'all going to make sure that people, landlords, take care of these buildings. So that's what we're here to do.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
My name is Shamika. I'm an organizer with LA Can. And I reside in CD 14 in the Skid Row area. As a coalition member of Keep LA Housed, we support those demands, including capping the rent at 3%. I'm here today in solidarity with tenants in Skid Row living in buildings formerly part of the Skid Row Housing Trust. This city council passed Tahoe, Tenants Anti-Harassment Ordinance, and we are really curious what you all feel your responsibility is to tenants in those hotels facing uninhabitable conditions. What does enforcement look like with a landlord who was practically given buildings? Whether in a tent or an SRO hotel, folks living in Skid Row are forced to live under conditions apparently accepted by this council. What are your plans?
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a few more names. Christina Boyer, Jason Reedy, and Corey Patterson.
Good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak to?
Morning, City Council. My name is Mr. Pancake. With LA Can and CD 14, general public comment. Aware that developer Leo Puchinokal acquired 17 former Skid Row Housing Trust buildings and has not done enough in addressing habitability issues in the buildings. Reports there's no security, safety issue, working elevators, infestation, plumbing, 88 tenants being impacted. City, we ask you to wake up, fix it, keep folks housed. Housing is a human right. We're supporting the demands of Keep LA Housed also. So that's what I had to say, Mr. Pancake. All power to the people. Housing is a human right. Let's fix this city. It's all of our responsibility. Isabel, Heather Hutt, City Council, let's listen. It's all of our responsibility. Can I get it right on?
Next speaker.
Hello.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Christina Boyer. I'm an attorney at public counsel and a member of the Keep LA Housed Coalition. I'm here to urge council when the time comes to make common sense updates to our rent stabilization formula that hasn't been updated in 40 years. The housing department has reported this is an unfair formula. To afford a one-bedroom apartment in LA, you need to make nearly $100,000. With the city's impending budget crisis, impending layoffs, and slashing of Section 8 and what is will surely be soaring costs of living, we need our city to protect us now more than ever. People are barely hanging on, and changing this formula to make it as protective of tenants as possible is a free way to stem the homelessness crisis and a budget crisis. We need a fair LARSO now with an annual rent increase formula based on 60% CPI, a 3% cap, and no floor, and eliminating unfair bumps for utilities and extra tenants. New rent increases go into effect in July, so we need to move this now. Thank you.
Okay, and before the next speaker begins, I just want to make an announcement, and then also, Speaker, I recognize I cannot tell you what to say or which words to use, but I just want to mention that there is a very young child here, and so again, you can say what you want to say as long as it's on the agenda. But for anybody here, you may hear offensive words, you may hear offensive subject matter. If you do so, then you are more than welcome to exit the room temporarily. You can pop in headphones. You can also do what kids often do, which is earmuffs, or you can stick your fingers in your ears, but just please bear with us and be patient. Thank you. Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Start with item number 15, with extra soy sauce. 15, 真的想寂寞的时候有个伴，日子再忙也有人一起吃早餐。虽然这种想法明明就是太简单，只想有人在一起，不管明天在哪里。爱总不容许人三心两意，遇见浑然天成的交集，错过多可惜。如果我是真的决定付出我的心，能不能告诉他今时别让我伤心。 Item number 16 with extra shrimp. 每次当爱在靠近，感觉它在紧紧地抱住你，它骚动你的心，遮住你的眼睛，又不让你知道去哪里。每一次当爱在靠近，都好像在等你要怎么回应。天地都安静，唯一不安的是你的决定。每一次当爱在靠近，都感觉到它已在说服你，它骚动你的心，遮住你的眼睛，又不让你知道去哪里。每一次当爱在靠近，都感觉到你想要怎么回应。 Now let's move on to item number 17. Item number 17 with no soy sauce. 最遗憾不是离开你，是还没说出喜欢你。后座上静静的你，脑海里全是你。街灯亮起还不见你，要怎么才能留住你？将头牵回头的。 你叫我怎么骤看天空流云划火，卷头的心仍能在唱歌。你似水目光，像那天月光，完全是我心魔。月季花开满了山坡，夏季的风融进眼窝。我一直都在想那天。 一刻都没离开，多想有天和你相见，亲口对你说我可以送你的情歌，劝你别要忘记我。骤看天空流云划火，卷头的心仍能在唱歌。你似水目光，像那天月光。 完全是我心魔，月季花开满了山坡，夏季的风融进眼窝。我一直都在想那天，一刻都没离开。多想有天和你相见，亲口对你说我可以送你的情歌，愿你别忘记我。
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a few more names. Kirsten Peterson and Celia Baggs.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm going to general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Council. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Corey Patterson. I've returned to you again after 18 months. I received, pardon me, I'm a survivor of the Skid Row Housing Trust collapse. I've lived in my building, the Lincoln Building, for 8 years this coming June 15th. We still have rats and roaches that have never been taken care of. We have a non-working fire system. We have an unbolted front door. We have actually a bolted front door. I know we have less than a minute. I'm going to say, after working with multiple different agencies, entities across the nation, what we've had for this scenario after 18 months is a disgrace. After transmitting these units for less than $8,300 per unit, we're left to still defend for ourselves. I shouldn't be having to hold a battery report from my property manager from yesterday evening trying to come home to my building. Please, we need some help.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
That's right. So let's see here, number 3. We got
Item number
CD.
3 is not open for public comment.
Okay, well, I can't blame my puppet, he's not here. Item number 1, is that okay, motherfucker? Yes? So let's see here. It's a Tracy Park item. Century Boulevard for an easement. See, Tracy Park's hiding a secret. She's got a different name, and Century Boulevard's looking like a complete shithole, Tracy. I drove down there yesterday. I'll be going down Friday. Shame on Tracy Park. Shame on her staff. That's why we ordered a pay cut of your staff. You're doing a horrible job. With the exception of William, who continues to do a perfect job covering your ass. Let's give William the staffer a hand. Now we get to number 2. Let's see here, CD11 again. Into Aviation Boulevard, another airport issue. Now, what's going on with Tracy Park and the goddamn fucking LAX? They're gonna be opening up a new choo-choo train. On Friday, Unisys is gonna ride it. In fact, Unisys is gonna become the first person to ever ride a subway from the ghetto over to LAX. Let's give Hamburger Hernandez a hand. God. Right, jailbreaking the peasants. Now let's see what else we got here. What else should I talk on? Come on, speak up. Let's see here, every fucking thing. Items for public hearing. Here we go. Let's see. A local emergency. There ain't no goddamn emergency. Fire's over. The fire was put out. Look at that. Even Nazarian Nose was scratching his head. The fire's over. He keeps scratching his head. That's why he's going completely bald. Look at that. It's horrible, isn't it? Buckethead knows the fire's over. Hamburger Hernandez, she knows the fire's over.
Okay,
so
so
why
at
are we
this
still
point, you're not on
there?
topic and you're repetitive. So this is your only warning.
Well,
Please
I'm
stick to the
repetitive
agenda
because
items.
I'm mentally retarded, dummy. Now we get number 10. Rent escrow account, Heather Hutt, the queen of the ghetto. The queen is allowing the rent escrow program to be removed from a shithole on South 3rd Avenue. Oh, wait, that's Bob. That's a nice area, CD10. Why are they in REAP? Aren't they getting enough rent, Bob? Isn't that where all the colored folks go, Bob, over at CD10 over 3rd Avenue? That's where the upper class coloreds go, as opposed to the poor. And then we have Marchese's item, Sleazy Marchese on South Van Ness Avenue, a complete, total ghetto shithole. Now for the general comment.
General public comment.
I got Tracy Park on a subpoena. I got fucking Rodriguez, known as Moni Cow-Cunt-Rodriguez. They spelled her name wrong. It's M-O-I-C-O-W, for the record. Moni Cow-Cunt-Rodriguez, C-U-N-T-R-O-I-G-U-E-S-Z. They're both going to testify against the city in favor of the Lions plaintiffs. Now, this is what Unisys wanted all along when she ran for office, Now I don't see her out there supporting the alliance. Why? What fucking changed? Then look at that up there. Django up there. You took and stole all the money, fool. Where's the motherfucking money? Where's the $2 billion? And let's not forget who we need to call as a witness, everybody. Nithya Raman Noodle. Noodle. The queen who's been stealing the money the last 2 years. Fuck the city council and fuck your mothers.
Your time has expired.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry for that.
Not your fault. I apologize. It's a tough act to follow. Which items would you like to
I'm doing general public.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jessica. I am a member of LA Can, a resident of Council District 14, and I've lived at the produce for 4 years. I'm here today because conditions in our building are unacceptable. There are rats, there's mold, and the bathrooms are filthy. There's often feces on the floors, walls, and toilets. Maintenance shows up maybe once or twice a week. Security is either absent or they're just there for a couple hours, usually on their phones, not protecting anyone. This council passed the tenant anti-harassment ordinance, but what does that look like for people living on Skid Row? How is it being enforced? Because we're not seeing it. The city signed off on the sale of my building and 16 others for next to nothing. So I ask you, what is your responsibility to us, the tenants, who are being forced to live in uninhabitable and unsafe conditions? We need action, we need enforcement, and we need accountability now. I support the demands of the Keep LA House conditions. Or coalition. I don't know how to say that word.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, Adam LA Can, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
All right. Mr. Grote, thank you for the instructions about giving written comment. Do you know if the council members read those as opposed to not listening when tenants from Skid Row come in and speak to them? Do they actually read the things that people send in, or is that just another empty thing that you're asking people to do? Here today to support the demands of the Stay Housed LA Coalition in solidarity with tenants from multiple buildings formerly part of the Skid Row Housing Trust, knowing that this council proudly passed the updated tenant anti-harassment ordinance. What does implementation look like? What does implementation look like across 17 buildings this city signed off on selling for just over $8,000 per unit? 17 buildings with persistent issues around habitability, bugs and roaches, mold, lack of security, lack of mailboxes. What is the city's responsibility for signing off on the sale of these buildings to a developer? Last week at the produce that this council recently took out of REAP, a person known to management who had been banned from the building walked in with a gun. LAPD showed up and brandished their weapons in the hallways, waking up and freaking out tenants. The individual with the gun was not found, but what does security look like that a person banned from the building can come in with a gun? What does the role city council plays in protecting tenants in Skid Row?
Your time has expired. Just as an FYI, so if you leave a written public comment at lacouncil.com, it will ask you to include a council file number. That comment is actually a part of the record. It gets put into the council file along with any motions, any reports that's available both for the public review and for the electeds and their staff.
Thank you so much, everybody who came to share with us today. Madam Clerk, what's before us?
Let's see, items 11 and 12 are before council, and that was called special for Mr. Price.
All right, we'll give Mr. Price a second to be taken off the board and to exit the chambers. That has occurred, so let's open the roll on those two items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Item 10, and that was called special by Councilmember Nazarian.
Councilmember Nazarian.
Thank you, Council President and colleagues. Colleagues, I just want to take a minute. I didn't want this to just go out on consent, and instead I wanted to have the opportunity to speak with all of you about this and tell you why it's important that we move forward with this. We learned as a society, as legislative body or bodies, what happened in the last economic downturn in 2008, 9, 10, 11. We saw that home prices were going up in 6 and 7. People were investing, and then it was completely devalued because of the bubble. The economy tanked. People started losing homes. Everyone that had made a major investment, by the way, that's the key word here, because when we make an investment, we're making an investment for our future, for the future of our families and of our kids and of our children as well. That's how generational wealth grows. And what happened was, when the economy went down, people started losing homes. They lost the investment that they had placed in. And over time, thousands upon thousands of homes were lost. What ended up happening? Banks had a lot of foreclosures, didn't know how to sell them off piece by piece, so they just sold them at swaths at a time, 1,000 homes at a time, turned it over to hedge funds. Hedge funds bought these properties for literally dimes on the dollar, sat on it, allowed the property value to grow over time. So not only did they make money through equity, they started renting it and collecting rent. If you think about it, this is a better scheme than playing the stock market, because the common stock only pays you quarterly. You collect rent monthly. So instead of 4 payments, you're collecting 12 payments. And this way, billions of dollars are leaving California today. That's one aspect. Second aspect, our residents, our constituents, the very people we're fighting for here, are losing equity. Their future generations are losing equity. So, and I can go on and on this front, but bottom line is, there was a simple solution. Make sure that we don't allow corporations to purchase these properties, these single-family homes. Sacramento hasn't acted on it quickly, and I say that coming from the legislature. In fact, I had a bill that never got heard. So here today, when I joined this body, one of the first acts, and I wanted it to be the first act, but procedurally, I introduced something else. This was my first act to make sure that we push ahead on ensuring that we protect single-family home ownership and allow it to be the precursor for generational wealth to be developed for families, for the equity to develop, for middle class to be strengthened, and future generations to know that they have the benefit of family support in order to pursue their dreams. So fast forward, and then from December, when I introduced this, to January, when the horrific fires impacted homes and families in Palisades and Altadena. Now we have a greater need to make sure that corporations and hedge funds don't come and purchase these properties. Already not the Palisades, but in Altadena, according to LA Times from a week ago, 80 burned down homes have been sold, majority of them to corporate owners. That already tells you where the trend is going. So we need to act. I've put this motion in so that we get a report back within 60 days from CLA to make sure we're on track to place a ballot measure for next year, to make sure that at least the city of LA is taking the precautions necessary to protect homeowners and equity developers, family equity developers, so that we protect future generations and we don't lose out the opportunity of becoming middle-class residents and constituents of Los Angeles. So with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote, and I appreciate the support that I've received on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nazarian. That item is before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Next, council has items 1, 2, and 15 through 23, sir.
All right, let's open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The final item is 24, and for the record, motion Raman Gerardo has been submitted, posted, and the bulletin board, and is before council now.
All right, let's open the roll on that item as amended. Let's close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred. Announcements, members? Any announcements, members? Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Council President. I just want to send Oliver, who is a constituent of CD13, good luck at the semifinals today at the National Spelling Bee. As you remember, we brought him in last year as the California champion. So he's 1 year older, 1 year stronger, and 1 year much more knowledgeable on spelling very different words. He actually beat me in a one-on-one contest, no surprise. So we want to wish you good luck, Oliver. Good luck today and good luck tomorrow, and however you end up, just know that you've made CD13 proud and the city of Los Angeles proud. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and good luck. And Godspeeds. Other announcements, members? All right, seeing none, I'll ask everyone in the chamber to rise for adjourning motions. All right, I'm looking to my left. I think I see Mr. Blumenfield and Councilmember Jurado. All right, we'll begin with Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you, Council President. Today, I rise to adjourn in memory of Maria Elena Figueroa, a fierce mother activist for reproductive justice and a cherished member of the East LA community. Originally from Mexico, Maria made her home in East LA where she raised 3 children. Tragically, the choice of growing her family was taken away from her. In 1971, after giving birth at the LA County General Hospital, Maria was sterilized. Her fallopian tubes were tied without her consent. This violation of your human rights did not silence her, and instead, Maria transformed her pain into purpose. She became a lifelong advocate for reproductive justice, demanding accountability and systemic change. Maria was one of the 10 courageous Mexican-American women who sued the LA County USC Medical Center for forced sterilization in the landmark case Madrigal versus Killigan. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court and was even represented by LA's very own Antonio Hernandez. Maria's story brought national attention to the targeting of Mexican women, specifically in East LA, who had limited English proficiency for forced sterilization, raising questions about racism, sexism, inequity, and injustice embedded in our healthcare system. And despite the Supreme Court ruling against her, her bravery led to new informed consent policies at hospitals regarding sterilization and requiring bilingual informational materials, and ultimately California revoked its sterilization laws. Her life reminds us that in the fight for justice, even when the courts fall short, the movement can still win. Losses can plant the seeds of future victories. As a mother, survivor, and organizer, Maria Elena Figueroa leaves behind a legacy of courage and compassion. Her commitment continues to inspire those of us fighting today, like me, for bodily autonomy and human dignity. Today, we honor her memory and mourn her passing. She will be deeply missed, and her impact will never be forgotten.
Thank you so much, Councilmember. Councilmember Blumenfield.
Thank you. They're coming up to join me here. We'll wait for the family to join.
Mr. Spindler, this is your last warning. You're disrupting the meeting.
Colleagues, families joining me here, I rise today to adjourn in the memory of a legendary educator and labor leader, William Lambert, known to many of us as Bill. We're joined by Bill's family today. His funeral was just yesterday. And for those of you who don't know Bill Lambert, but you might know a teacher or you're a teacher yourself, know that Bill was the metaphorical teacher's guardian angel, and now he's become their literal guardian angel. He was born in the Bronx in 1929 to Helen and Izzy Lambert, and he grew up in Los Angeles with his brother Fred and sister Frances. He graduated from UCLA in 1951 and started teaching at Montague Elementary School in Pacoima in 1955. He lived the last few decades in Tarzana, in my district. In 1962, He left teaching elementary school to co-found the Los Angeles Teachers Association, quadrupling its membership to 800 in 5 years before merging it with the Association of Teachers of Los Angeles in 1968 to form the Association of Classroom Teachers of Los Angeles, which boasted 14,000 members. 2 years later, Bill would co-found what has become the mighty United Teachers of Los Angeles, which today is the second largest teachers union in the nation. In his work organizing and advocating for teachers, Bill improved benefits and working conditions for public school teachers, leading the first teacher strike in 1970, and achieving passage of landmark legislation in 1975, which gave teachers the right to collectively bargain. And throughout his career, Bill also led efforts to repeal discriminatory laws that excluded people of color from serving on the LAUSD board, and he hired diverse organizations for the unions he led. In 1991, he founded Children of the Dream, which was an international student exchange program formed to improve race relations in Los Angeles high schools that operated for 12 years and would spread to other cities throughout the country. In 2008, he retired after 47 years serving as the union's Director of Government Affairs. Bill was a force of nature who changed the way California public school teachers were treated. As I mentioned, he led the first teacher strike in California, and he literally won the right for all California teachers to collectively bargain by getting a law passed in Sacramento. This was a huge deal. This man changed history. I first met Bill in the early 1990s when I was a staffer in DC working for Congressman Howard Berman. Bill had worked closely with Berman when he was in the Assembly, and somehow decided that even though I worked for Howard, that I was to staff him on issues that were in Washington, D.C. And at first, I thought he was just a relentless pain in the backside. But after it became apparent that his tenaciousness was solely motivated by the passion for doing what is right, after that, we developed a great working relationship and a genuine friendship. He wasn't just a constituent, wasn't just a friend of Congressman Berman's and a passionate advocate for teachers and education, but I realized he was also a visionary. His biggest federal priority was repealing Ronald Reagan's 1983 pension offset and windfall elimination law that caused so many teachers to get shortchanged when it came to Social Security in their retirement. Repealing this law was considered by many, especially back then, as this overly expensive pipe dream. But it was one that he inspired me and others to take seriously. In fact, with Congressman Berman, we put forward multiple legislative efforts to make it happen. Every year I worked there, we put forward this bill. It gained momentum, it gained co-sponsors and support, at one point over 300 co-sponsors, but it never could quite make it enough into law. Now, long story, and it actually is a very long story, which I won't tell now as it lasted 30 years, but I'll cut to the happy ending. This past January, then President Biden signed into law the Social Security Fairness Act, which eliminated the pension offset and the windfall elimination and effectively made Bill's seemingly impossible vision a reality. He was ahead of his time on so many issues, and I am so glad that I got to know him before and after his retirement in 2008. Even after his retirement, his boundless energy caused him to engage in a plethora of issues, be they fighting anti-Semitism and bigotry, promoting literacy, or so many others. In his later years, he was fixated on helping school children receive this inexpensive eye test that could dramatically improve their learning by basically preemptively fixing this vision problem. He cared, and he expressed his caring by taking action. Almost 2 years ago to the day today, I had the privilege of renaming a street in Tarzana as Bill Lambert Way. It was especially meaningful considering all he's done for education, that he lived down the street and the store fronted Portola Middle School. So many people came out that day to celebrate Bill, current teachers, former Valley elected officials, as well as union leaders, community members, family. The outpouring was amazing because Bill is someone who touched so many lives and was such a legendary advocate. I consider myself lucky to have known Bill. He's an amazing person with a wonderful family, many of whom are behind me right now, who I've also had the pleasure of getting to know over the years. His incredible wife, Lenore, of more than 60 years, is here today. Two of them were amazing. They traveled, they had all these tchotchkes in their home. It's pretty amazing. And Bill was very proud of his family that he and Lenore created. 4 children, Mark, Liz, Melissa, and Richard. 4 sons and daughters-in-law, Joanna, Barry, Floyd, Ingrid. 7 grandchildren, Izzy, Rosie, Ziv, Lior, Harper, Cami, and Rowan. 2 grandchildren-in-law, Shihab and Hannah, and his first great-grandchild, Musa Marwe. He loved his family and friends intensely, and he was loved intensely. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in power. May his memory be a blessing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blumenfield. To the Lambert family, we've got a couple members. Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you, Council President. And I apologize. I was not aware that Bill had passed away. If not, I would have been at the funeral yesterday myself. My condolences, my love to the family. I've appreciated working also with Mark over the years on passing legislation. I first met Bill when I was a young Coro fellow back in 96, 97. I was assigned to him for a few days, to him and to Don Bear. If you guys remember Don Bear, man, those were the guys who told me quite a bit about having to read up on Saul Alinsky and understanding about organizing. So I have extremely fond memories of Bill. I have extremely fond memories and appreciation for everything he did for teachers, the empowering that he did for teachers. And I'll leave you on this story. After Coro Fellowship was done, I worked for Brad Sherman, Congressman Brad Sherman, newly elected, and I was constantly trying to come up with ways of supporting my boss at the time. And I was having a conversation with Bill, and he said, you know, Clinton is going to be in town. You may want to get the kids from Taft High School that had just won the decathlon to go out and meet them. That'll be a good thing. You know, why don't you share that with your boss and take credit for it? I said, sure, Bill, thank you. Go back to the boss and I say, hey, Congressman, how about if we take the kids to meet the president? That's a fine idea. We did it, and sure enough, I called Bill and I said, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. He knew how to build up people. He knew how to build up societies. He also knew how to build up the most vulnerable amongst us. So thank you for sharing him with the rest of us and the rest of the world.
Thank you, Mr. Nazarian. Councilmember Padilla.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Blumenfield, for taking this up. As soon as I saw the last name, I knew who we were talking about. I had no idea that this had happened either. I think you did a great job telling his story, and thank you, Mr. Nazarian, for that personal story. We all know who he was. We all know the story, and very impressive. And I would like to be added on to this adjournment if possible, please.
Absolutely.
I owe a lot to everything he did and built out for future leaders like myself. So he will be in my memories. Thank you for sharing him with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Blumenfield and members. Any other adjourning motions? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.